both are here to discuss about a
Good
new
morning.
topic. Yeah. So the topic of the day today is goal setting. So me and Kavita will be talking about what you should be doing to set your goals correctly in order to achieve those goals because goals are meant to be achieved, right? So welcome Kavita once again, and let's talk about this and let the viewers know how we
Good
can add
morning,
value to
and
them.
thanks for having me here, Alok.
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. So, Kavita ji, me and you both have been into this business for long years, and it is any business we need to have some goals, or in life also we need to have some goals. Without goals, we are not doing justice to whatever we are doing.
Yeah.
So, how a business owner, especially in this online field, because we are coaches and we are helping coaches, service providers, freelancers, agency owners to do their business in a better way. So, how do you think what should be the key parameters kept in mind to set a realistic goal which can be achieved, and what are the ways to do that? Let's discuss about it.
Yeah. So this goal setting topic itself is very interesting, and this is one area where, like, some people tend to uh, ignore certain other factors related to it. I'll talk about those factors in a minute now.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody talks about setting goals, setting smart goals. That is
Right.
fantastic. But
Right.
then, like, before we set our goals or the so called smart goals,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, we need to have clarity on lot of aspects, not
Exactly.
only on the goals. See, this is applicable to both the coach as well as
Mm-hmm.
the coachee.
Right.
As far as the coach is concerned, like, he or she needs to understand what are the aspirations and dreams of the coachee,
Right.
apart from the business goals,
Yeah.
because that is connected to the goal he or she wants to achieve, and what is the outcome they want out of this business coaching, and so on and so forth.
True.
So clarity on those aspects are required, and clarity on, like, from the coach's side,
Mm-hmm.
what they can offer, what is the outcome, what are the benefits, what they'll be teaching, or what the coachee will be learning, and lot of other things connected to the uh, learning process or
Exactly.
the learning benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having talked about the clarity, then comes the specificity.
Mm-hmm.
The more specificity coach and the coachee has on each of these things which we already discussed,
Mm-hmm.
it will give a better clarity again.
Right.
So these two are very interconnected, clarity
Mm-hmm.
and specificity. And
Correct.
this is one main thing that needs to be taken care of before they set their goal.
Correct.
Now, the second thing is the challenges and its attainability.
Right.
The goals should be challenging enough for both the coach as well as the coachee,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, it should be attainable,
Right.
considering all the skills and expertise and the training and all the resources what they have.
Sure.
Finally, the commitment factor comes into play. There
Mm-hmm.
has to be a certain degree of commitment from both sides.
Correct.
So these are certain factors that influence and affect the goal setting.
True.
So
True.
both the parties need to have complete clarity on these, and they need to sit and work on these factors.
Correct. Correct. And I too agree that all these things which you mentioned is they are very realistic and practical in order to implement all these things. But as I always say, I go one step behind all these scenes, and to me, when I start talking about goal setting to my mentees, I always say that you need to understand what are your 5 W's, which everybody knows about it. Why you are doing it? Let's say if your goal is to earn 5 lakh rupees a month, why 5 lakh rupees a month only? Why it is not 50 lakhs, or why it is not 50,000 rupees? So the why, if the why is clear, then we come to the what. Okay, now what are you going to do that? Then how you are going to do that? So all this, and when you are going to do that, the timelines, right? So all these 5 W's, which are considered to be the key parameters of setting a goal, that should be discussed early. As you rightly said, the expectation has to be set and the reason has to be already known to both the parties. Whether you are in any business, let's say you are a service providing with business and there is a client, obviously the client will give you a work, a job to do. It has to be attaining certain timeline. There has to be a specific outcome of that particular thing, right? So if you don't have a fulfilled reason behind doing something, first of all, you'll not be morally boosted to do that. Number one, if it is just your hobby, not a business, then again you are not going to take it so seriously. And if both the parties are not in concurrence with each other, the delivery, the outcomes, the timelines, the pricing, the other clauses, then the goals definitely are not gonna met, right? But
Yes.
there are people who are talking about different formulas of goal setting, like smart is one of those famous abbreviated terms in order to set goals. Then there are different r's, different p's, different c's of goal setting. You go and search google, there are a lot of things which are taught and talked about. But I wanted to know from you, like specifically when we are into service business, whether it is coaching agency or freelancing, how this should be customized in those parameters. Again, as I said, there are multiple parameters to it, the practical parameters, so that anybody can attain those goals with, obviously efforts would be required, but it has to be a systematic effort. So what would be your views on that?
Yeah, see, as you also mentioned, and I also talked about
Yeah.
that we need to have clarity not only in the business outcomes or benefits that the coachee wants or
Mhm.
aspires,
Mhm.
but also like what he or she dreams and has got aspirations in the personal life.
Yeah.
So that is where like all these questions, like all the w's and the h questions uh, needs to be answered
Yeah.
before they start the coaching.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the uh, coaching for which the coachee approached a coach,
Mhm.
or the coach is providing his or her service to someone,
Correct, correct, correct,
they need to understand like what is the main outcome they are the coach is going to give to his or her clients.
correct.
Based on that outcome, they need to reverse engineer and find
Mhm.
out what are the intermediate milestones or
Correct.
achievements they can give to the coachee.
True.
Based on each intermediate milestone,
Mhm.
they have to set, okay, what uh, actions need to be done,
Yeah.
what learnings has to be done,
Correct.
how it can be achieved,
Right.
in what time span,
Correct.
and then set a smaller goal,
Yeah.
and all these intermediate smaller goals take them to the
Bigger goal.
final big goal.
Yeah.
Now again, here both the coach and the coachee has to sit together and make adjustments and according to what the coachee is expecting,
Yeah.
because it should not be just a one way from the coach to the
True.
coachee.
True. True. Agree. Fine. So, whatever you have said, can we, formulate in the form of some principles, like, step by step? First of all, let's say define the bigger goal. Now,
Yes.
you break down that bigger goal into multiple smaller goals, stepwise, and
Yes.
then give it to the
Quarterly,
coach.
half yearly, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and then comes to daily goals.
Correct. And there should be, as you said, a timeline for achieving step one. Let's say there are
Yes.
multiple steps to achieve step one, or the smaller goal. Let's say there is a big goal and we bifurcated that particular big goal into 10 smaller steps, right? For one step we have multiple actions to do, and that actions cannot be completed in a day. So let's say that action has to be completed in 2 weeks time. So in 2 weeks time you have to have a 2 week plan and a goal to achieve that.
Yeah.
So if in this way, anybody, if there is a coach or a service provider or an agency owner, if you can distribute these goals, or bifurcate these goals into smaller steps, and then actionable, timely deliverables, I would say, with respect to that smaller step. So we achieve one of the smaller goals, and by adding all these smaller goals, definitely we'll be reaching to the bigger goal in due course of time,
Yeah.
right? But not everything happens as per plan. This is a
Yes,
realistic
true.
thing. Correct.
Yes.
So this is what we are talking. Okay, we'll be making a plan, but that doesn't happen because not everybody is going to implement in a 100% perfect way, and neither there is something called perfect. So now how to adjust these changes? Because when a mentee has paid you something, they also look forward to an outcome after a certain period of time, I think, as per the plan. But doesn't happen, as I said, as per the plan, because there will be multiple loopholes in terms of execution, implementation. Maybe somebody is not well at the in the family, and you spend 2 other days somehow. So how do you plan to adjust in order that the goals are not stretched too far? Yes, they definitely might get here and there a little, but how do you adjust all this?
Yeah, that is where this commitment, accountability, and adjustment comes into play. Commitment has to be there from both the parties. They should spend a considerable amount of time working on their business because or their life, for which they have sought the help from a coach.
Correct.
Number two is accountability from the coach, as well as the coachee should also be accountable to himself or herself.
Yeah, very true.
It is not a coach's job or responsibility to take a coachee from you know the current position wherever they are at to the desired goal or outcome or benefit.
True.
They should equally, or in fact one step more, be accountable for themselves, for their actions and their commitment.
Correct.
Now yes, considering certain you know certain things may be out of control, where like both the parties do not have control on it.
Mhm.
Such situations may also happen.
Yeah.
In that case, both the parties need to sit and do the adjustments that are required to you know make changes in the activities planned, make changes in the course of the whole training,
Correct.
and still reach the goal. Because see, there are more than one way of reaching a certain place,
True.
the final objective. It is not
Definitely.
necessary that you have to follow one path.
Mhm.
So that is where like both the people have to sit together and discuss and reach to a mutually agreeable conclusion, which
Exactly.
path to take, and proceed from there.
Sure, sure. So what I'd like to add here, can we have some, additional timeline as a buffer? Let's say we are putting and setting up a goal, a smaller goal. Let's say we are putting it X days, and we know there would be certain exigencies, or something which are beyond our control, whether with the coach or the coachee, where we need both the commitments together. But some unforeseen circumstances which are not in our control, so we can have additional 2 days. Let's say on 7 days time, let's say put 2 days together, so that is around 30% of the time which we are putting ahead of times in order to have a realistic figure, because these things keep on coming in everybody's life, right? So what happens is, if we commit something that obviously triggers our actions, and if we do not met, somehow we feel bad, or we feel sad, or we feel depressed, or we feel at times that this has not been done in the time. So I think if we can incorporate this additional time early in the plan, I think that will give a better sense for people to execute. And if done early, what's wrong in it? You know, achieving something early always gives a is a
Yeah.
better happiness. Correct. Rather than delaying by a day and keeping ourselves feeling bad, it's always to have additional 2 days and get our targets achieved. If by God's grace everything remains good and we don't have to use those 2 days additional, definitely we'll be ahead of times, and we can redo few things to make it even better. Do you think it's a good idea?
Yes, of course, we can give some buffer time to catch up with the lost days. At the same time, like before starting the
Yeah.
coaching session, the coaching program itself, like they can enter into the terms and conditions through a contract, which will give more clarity on like um, what is possible and what is not possible, like what are the responsibilities from both the parties and how the whole process is going to take place. So that also gives clarity to the coach and the coachee. Sorry. And everything will be transpiring in a much transparent manner.
Fine, that's really nice. So I would say that if there are two people working for the same goal, obviously, if this kind of a coordination is already done early before getting into a contract, or before, obviously its contract are made to be understood from by the both the parties. So if the things are clear, as you rightly said, the clarity is there. That clarity in terms of what you are going to do, when you are going to do, how you are going to do, and the accountability at both the ends. That is more important, especially in terms of coaching, because in service providing, most of the things are being taken care by the agency, the owners, or the service providers. But still, there is some element which has to be, done by the particular individual who has had the agency. So the roles and responsibilities should be clear, and that is why, even in the smart goal criteria, it is said that everything should be measurable, right? It has to be measurable. So that measurable part is very much important, because I have also seen and I have gone through few of the incidents with some other people where I see that there is a time when that things are not pleasing talking to each other, because the expectations are not set, the document is not made, and people are like shouting at each other saying that this is what I had expected, this you have not offered me or something. So if all things are being taken care as a document prior to getting into a contract, I think that gives the core of your planning, and that is how we can have a better goal achieved. So
Yeah, exactly. Like if we can communicate it before and during and even after the coaching session, it will give better clarity in every aspect, and that
right.
will help in better goal setting, and also the whole process of achieving the goal will also become smoother.
So would you like to wrap it up? We are almost 20 minutes now, Kavita ji.
Yes. So, see, setting goals is one thing. What we discussed today is all the pre-goal setting elements.
Yeah.
These are areas where, like most newbie coaches, they tend to ignore or forget to look into.
Mhm.
So, if you are a newbie coach, kindly bear all these factors in your mind before you start your coaching program or take a new client.
Yeah.
Communicate it clearly to your client so that all the confusions and the chaos can be avoided at a later point of time.
True.
And then, based on what service you provide, or what is the outcome that you provide to your clients, and what is the benefit that the client is looking for, based on that, like you can set um, goals which are achievable and track it, and also stay committed and take the accountability from both the parties, and if required, make the necessary adjustments and tweakings, and then, you know, help the coachee to reach the final goal for which he or she approached you. This
Sure.
will give, uh, this will actually take your coaching business to, a better uh, position.
Good. Thank you so much, Kaptaji, for nicely wrapping it up. So I hope audience you got lots of new things in a new perspective, because few things you might be hearing as a repetitive. That's okay. But me and Kavitha has tried to make it simpler for you in terms of how you can apply to the practical aspect of it. And I hope you enjoyed this session. Do give us your comments and feedbacks, and you can reach out to Kavitaji or me anytime on these channels. And I'm looking forward to another new topic or anything again related to business and entrepreneurship, especially online business we're talking about. So in the next session, which is again on Thursday, 11:30 a.m. IST. So thank you so much, Kavitaji, and
Thank
thank
you,
you so much,
Alokji.
viewers.
Thank you for watching this session. Drop in your queries, ask any questions pertaining to growing your coaching business or starting your coaching business. Looking forward to meeting you in the next session. Thank
Yes,
you and stay marvelous.
take care.